I'm still at the shrine grounds. On the shrine grounds. But I no longer feel her arms around me. My chest feels like it's about to burst. I hold it back.
なあ、ルカ子。
はい。
お前は。
I hesitate for a moment, but I have to know.
男だよな。
はい、そうですけど。
She is gone. He has returned.
お前は俺のこと
いきなり何を。
好きか。
その尊敬してます。
He respects me? I don't deserve his respect. But that's not what mattered now. Rukako's answer seems clear, but wasn't. He didn't answer the question.
男に戻ったら岡部さんへのこの気持ち封印しなくちゃいけないから。
Rukako might still like me, even though he's a guy again. However, he'll never speak honestly about those feelings.
ありがとう。お前にはこれからもずっと俺の弟子でいてほしい。それでいいか。
はい、もちろんです。
The world line has changed. Rukako is a guy again. Which means the IBN 5100 should be here at the shrine. On the previous world line, girl Rukako broke the IBN 5100 while cleaning the storehouse. But guy Rukako didn't clean the storehouse. He never broke the IBN 5100.
ルカ子、お前は去年この神社の倉庫で古いパソコンを壊した覚えがあるか。
古いパソコンですか？そんなものうちにはなかった気がしますけど。僕パソコンはよくわからなくてろくに触ったこともないんです。
I felt like in random places all the time when I started streaming, and I never remember where I put it. I just know it's nearby. When Rukako was a girl, she trembled when I asked her the same question. But he's not trembling now. Rukako honestly doesn't know.
父上に会わせてくれ。
I asked Rukako to fetch its father for me, so I can ask him whether or not the IBN 5100 was in the storehouse.
古いパソコン？確かにそんな記憶がありますね。見てきましょう。ちょっと待っていてください。
He heads into the storeroom out back, just like on the previous world line. But on the previous world line, the IBN 5100 was no longer in the storehouse, since girl Rukako had secretly moved it. How will it turn out this time?
見つかりません。なくなっています。倉庫の鍵が壊されていました。何者かが持ち去ったかもしれません。
持ち去った？
It didn't disappear? A thief took it?
重いものを引きずったような跡がありました。年末に大掃除をした時にはあんな跡はありませんでしたし、鍵も1ヶ月ほど前にたまたま確認した時は壊されていませんでした。まさか泥棒に入られるとは。
じゃあ警察に届けないと。
倉庫にないと意味がないんだ。
The IBN 5100 is still out of reach. There are 2 D-mails left to cancel. Something told me that if I cancel just one more, I can get back the IBN 5100. Stop right there, criminal scum! You have violated the law. I can't wait, I don't remember the rest of that monologue. I mix it up with like every other Bethesda game. But which one?
岡部さん、なんだかよくわからないですけど、気を落とさないでください。そんなことどうでもいいの精神ですよ。
その言葉、使い方が間違っているぞ。
Two D-mails remain. Only 2 remain. First, the one I sent to myself with the winning Lotto 6 numbers. That one should be easy to cancel. The problem is the other one, the one sent by someone I wish I could forget. Because the person who sent that email is Kiryu Moeka. I know the gist of her D-mail since she sent it as part of our early experiments. Moeka ended up sending a D-mail to prevent herself from buying a new phone a few days prior. The D-mail was sent to July 31st, an easy date to remember. The question is how it relates to the theft of the IBN 5100. Kiryu Moeka did not deserve my sympathy. Oh. That woman and her men have killed Mayuri more times than I can bear to remember. I will show her no mercy. There's just one problem. The cancellation D-mail needs to be sent from Moeka's own phone. I need her phone, but I don't know where to find her.
明日もあるの？明日だけじゃなくて、明後日もあるの。
Mayuri, who returned from Komima a mere 30 minutes ago, was preparing cup noodles for dinner and telling Karisu, who'd stay at the lab, all about her otaku adventures. It's already past 8. Nothing is happening. Mayuri is still alive. Perhaps her death has been postponed until tomorrow. Is this the will of some higher being? God? Fate? The universe itself? Or is it merely coincidence? Mayuri told me that she'll go home as soon as she'd done eating, since she had to be up bright and early tomorrow. She must have woken up early today if she can manage to swing by the lab before heading to Ariaka for Komima. It sounds like she planned to repeat the process tomorrow too. Oh, trust me, you do not want to miss this. This is gonna be so exciting. This is like one of the biggest things I've been like looking forward to about this game, and it's like new animation for scenes that weren't in the anime, essentially, and it's like, oh, I can't wait. Anyway.
ね クリスちゃんやオカリンはコミマ行かないの？
俺はパスだが女子
はあ？ちょっと岡部、何勝手に捏造してんのよ。
さっきまで興味津々な様子で真由里のコスプレ話を聞いていたではないか。
そうだけど誰も行くとは言ってない。行こうよクリスちゃん。
I know that Kurisu is an art channeler, but is she an otaku?
お断りよ。人が多すぎて息が詰まりそう。今日と比べるとね、2日目はそんなに多くないよ。午後から来れば快適そのものなんだから。人気のある同人誌なんかは売り切れちゃうけどね。
Man, that's like saying Comic-Con won't be as crowded on day 2. It will be crowded. Maybe not as much, but it is definitely not significant enough for anyone to notice.
岡部がついていきなさいよ。あんた、真由里の保護者でしょ？
Oh my, whoa. Whoa, we're not in the alternate endings. This is a pretty pretty deep shading for Okabe there.
違うよ。マユシーはね、オカリンの人質。ああ、はいはい。そうだったな。人質に逃げられちゃまずいでしょ。手錠でもかけて同行すれば？
俺にはこの秋葉でやらなければならないことがある。
何よ、やらなきゃならないことって。
The search for Kiryu Moeka. I already sent her an email. We need to talk. And now I'm awaiting her reply. Something told me it's not going to work.
無言ってことは単に行きたくないだけか。
クリスティーナ、話がある。
また？
というわけで、クリスティーナ。
コミマに行くつもりはないから。
お前さっき、またと言ったな。ここでこうして1対1での相談を何度もしている。ということで間違いないか。
ついに記憶に錯乱が見られるようになったか。狂気のマッドサイエンティストさんはアセチルコリンが減少してるんじゃない？
A neurotransmitter. Wait. Acetylcholine. Whoa. Yikes. Levels in the hippocampus increase when learning or remembering. Well, it hasn't done that much for me, so great.
真面目に答えろ。
あんた、なんか変よ。
頼む。答えてくれ。
答えるも何も、岡部がさっき言った通りよ。もう 4,5 回くらいこうして外に出て2人でタイムリープマシンをどうするかについて話してる。
俺がタイムリープしていることについては
知ってるの？
かれこれ10回以上だ。
I think more than a baker doesn't. Let's be honest. a dozen, like, a dozen times is just such an understatement. Okabe has actively, has time leaped way more than that. Countless amounts of times.
そんなに？何勝手な真似してんのよ。
So far, I've changed world lines a total of 3 times. Let's call the first world line where Mayuri dies Alpha 1. The world line where Ferris and I fought the viral attackers is Alpha 2. The world line where I dated girl Rugako is Alpha 3. And now I'm on Alpha 4. From my perspective, Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3 were undone by my D-mails. But for Kurisu and everyone else on Alpha 4, those world lines were nothing but separate, intangible possibility to begin with. I guess I have to explain everything again. I sigh heavily, then begin.
おおむね把握した。あんまり無茶しないで。
Too late.
常習に励まされるとは屈辱だな。
なんで屈辱なのよ。せっかく優しくしてやったのに。ほんといちいち偉そうだな、あんた。
同情などいらない。すべては俺の軽率な行動が起こしたことだ。自業自得なんだ。
岡部、
俺の心配より真由里の心配をしてくれ。おそらく真由里は明日死ぬ。どんな死に方かはわからない。
If Mayuri stays away from the lab, she can probably avoid running into Moeka and her men. It doesn't matter though, she'll die all the same. All Alpha world lines converge on her death. Escaping the attractor field is the only way to save her.
お前には悪いと思うが、明日真由里の死を見届けてほしい。
I don't know why. I find it funny every time someone slides down that slide.
だから小見間に行けって言ったのか。
死は回避できない。抵抗は無駄だ。お前は見届けて俺に連絡するだけでいい。お前からの連絡が来たらタイムリープする。
真由里が死ぬのが分かっていながら何もできないなんて。全然実感が湧かないけど事実なんでしょうね。あんたの目を見。大丈夫？
大丈夫じゃない。真由里を助けるためにはまだ。
真由里のこともそうだけど、私が聞いたのはあんたのこと。
俺がどうしたって。
あんまり気負いすぎないで。
言っただろ。俺の心配より真由里の心配をしろと。俺は明日桐生萌香を探す。
If Mayuri doesn't die tomorrow, I can postpone the time leap. If Mayuri does die tomorrow, I'll return to the past no matter what.
できれば マユリに痛い思いをさせたくないがな。
だったら今からタイムリープしちゃえばいい。
この世界線においていつがデッドラインなのか、それを見極めておかないと計画をうまく立てられないだろう。
こんなこと言うとなんだけど、私は。
気持ちはわかるが、頼めるのはお前しかいない。
随分信用されてるのね。
何しろお前は俺の助手だからな。
偉そうに。
We have our plan. Karisu will go to her first Koyuma. Mayuri will be so delighted when I tell her the news. I haven't seen Mayuri all day. I want to be with her, of course, but that's not possible. Moeka hasn't replied, which means I have to find her myself. Guess I'll have to find her myself. Wait, did that just repeat? It did. My only clue with Arc Rewrite, the company Moeka supposedly worked at. Goodle! I remember Moeka telling me that she worked there part-time. I find it after a quick search online. Sure enough, their business is producing articles for PC magazines. Luckily, their office is in Akiba. After checking the time, I called their office to ask for information. Someone on the other end picks up. I quickly assume the guise of a family member and ask for Moeka contact info. However, he gives me an unexpected answer. I frantically beg him to look for it. Though reluctant at first, he finally acquiesces. I acquiesce. The address he gives me leads to a beat-up old apartment. I feel a strange unease as I approach the apartment. For some reason, there's a police car parked in front of the complex. A uniformed officer is standing out front. And one room on the second floor, room 202, Moeka's, has a blue sheet covering the door. What's going on here?
すいません。あそこの部屋の人は引っ越したんですか？
あ？違うよ。
じゃあ
君、関係者？
知り合いです。
何も聞いてないの？
何が起きたんですか？
自殺だよ。
え？
But why?
それはいつ？
昨日だ。
そんな。
ご遺体は近くの千代田第三病院に運ばれてるはずだから、身寄りが誰もいないみたいでね、困ってたんだ。
会いに行ってやってくれないかな。
Moeka's dead? What in the world is going on here? Moeka, who killed Mayuri in cold blood, committed suicide? Or is this part of a conspiracy? Could her own men have killed her, then made it look like suicide? Each time I change world lines, Mayuri's death gets pushed back one day. So did Moeka's raid. It hasn't happened yet on this world line. So why did she die? This is the first time this has happened. What should I do? If Moeka is dead, maybe Mayuri doesn't have to die. No, I don't think convergence is that kind. I just want this nightmare to end. How did this all happen? A few weeks ago, death had no place in my life. I don't know how much longer it can go on. Just one more D-mail to cancel. If I can just get my hands on Moeka's phone.
タイムリープだ。
Moeka died yesterday, the 15th. I can go back to before that happened. Whether the woman that killed Mayuri committed suicide or what murder doesn't matter to me. I just need to cancel that D-mail. Someone is using the time leap machine. This is important. Who? I can't let this happen. The timeline mustn't be tampered with again. I need to stop it now. By the time I get there, the shaking has stopped. Nobody's there. The time leap machine is still faintly warm. So somebody did use it. Did they time leap? Who could have done it? I don't know. But now someone other than me has used the time leap machine, at least in this storyline. This is unprecedented. Oh my god. Okay. Ignore that. As expected, the history's been erased. The same thing happens when we send a D-mail. There's nothing I can do about this. Besides, I need to deal with Moeka first. I put on the headgear. Preparations complete. Should I really leap now? Just a little more, and I can save Mayuri once and for all. I know what will happen if I don't leap now. Mayuri will die, and I will take the pain and despair once again. And then, I will leap. It's the same either way. Suddenly, the once empty room is full of familiar faces. Where in Moeka now? Should I try going to her apartment again? I'm afraid that if I do meet her face to face, I might not be able to control myself. That woman killed Mayuri. I've seen the blood drain from her body. If I see Moeka, will I be able to contain my rage? It doesn't matter. I can't run away. In order to save Mayuri, I must meet with Moeka. I head to Moeka's ratty apartment. There's no sign of the police this time. Moeka's suicide won't happen for another 4 days. The lights aren't on inside. I'm starting to worry that she might not be home. I knock on her door and receive only silence in response. But when I try the doorknob, this could be a trap. Remember, we're not dealing with an ordinary person. Moeka is a rounder, an agent of CERN. If I die here, what will happen to Mayuri? I need to be careful. So I steel myself, open the door, and peek inside. The apartment is dark, too dark to see. But I feel someone's presence. I try desperately to swallow the anger surging within me. Since the first time our lab was attacked, the first time Mayuri was murdered, I've tried to push all thoughts of this woman from my mind. But now, I have no choice. I can't accomplish my goal until I have the answers I need from her. I must obtain the IBN 5100 to escape the Alpha Attractor field and rescue Mayuri.
Kiryu Moeka. 起きているか?
誰 FB なの
FB?
I've heard that name before. If I'm not mistaken, that's her superior's code name.
なんで連絡くれないの私言われた通りにやったのにねえ FB
She's still clinging to it, I see.
ねえ私の何がいけなかった直すよ直すから見捨てないで FB のためなら何でもする返事をしてよ答えてよ私に指示を出して私はそれに従う命令して命令
She's clearly mentally unstable. It's like she's a different person now. Is this another effect of the world line change?
おい、聞こえるか? おい!
Facebook no love you.
桐生萌か。おい、俺だ。岡部だ。お前。
What happened to Moeka? From what little I understand, it sounds like she lost contact with her superior, FB. It doesn't matter. I don't care what happens to her. I'm here for one thing.
メールがメールが
FB とかいうやつからか。
メールが来ない。
Damn it, we're not getting anywhere. Maybe I should just take it from her by force? But what if she tried to kill me before I can send the D-mail? This is a gamble. In her current state, she might not have the strength to retaliate. On the other hand, if she does retaliate, there's not much I can do against someone with a gun. What should I do? Crap! That startled me. Could she have picked a worse time?
もしもし。
今どこよ。
悪いが取り込み中だ。
女？女なの？
Well, you not wrong.
お前の発想は実にスイーツかっこ笑いだな。
うるさいな。電話レンジの改良手伝うって約束したでしょ。よくそれでラボ面ナンバー001を名乗れるな。
誰に頼んでくれ。今日はそれどころじゃない。
一体何してんのよ。そこどこ？
桐生萌香のアパートにいる。
やっぱり女か。最低だな。
Has she not met Moeka on this world line? I gave Teresa the usual spiel. As always, she heard me out without saying a word and quickly comes up with one conclusion.
強引に奪うしかないわね。
過激だな。ハリウッド映画の見過ぎか。
相手はセルンの関係者よ。遠慮してたらこっちがやられるかもしれない。迷ってる場合じゃないでしょ。それでマユリを救えるんだから。あんたはヒョロヒョロで頼りなさそうだけど、さすがに今なら相対的に考えて勝てるはず。
Yeah, he is pretty weak and scrawny, but to Okabe's credit, he is pretty strong when that adrenaline kicks in.
こんなこと言うと人格疑われそうだけど、いや、あんたに人格疑われたってどうでもいいけど、殺してでも奪い取るべきよ。
今お前の人格を疑った。だが偽善ぶらないところは好きだぞ、クリスティーナ。
好きってちょっと。
What's the matter with her now?
事実を言ったまでだ。俺なんかよりもよっぽど潔い。
どうも。
で、意図を聞かせてくれ。 殺すこともやむなしと考える理由がお前の中にある。そうだろう。だからそういう結論に達したはずだ。
よかった。それなりに冷静ね。あんたの話が本当か嘘かは定義できない。アトラクタフィールド理論っていう式を私はまだ完全には理解してないし。それでもあんたの説明をもとに考えると、桐生って人が4日後に自殺するなら彼女には死亡フラグが立っているっていう推論が成り立つ。世界が彼女の死を承認したっていうところね。因果が収束するなら、これまでの世界線では仮にあんたが彼女を殺そうとしても何らかの邪魔が入ってできなかったはず。あるいは殺した瞬間に世界線が大きく変わっていた。でもこの世界線でだけ考えるなら彼女は近いうちに死ぬ。あんたはこれまでに何度も真由里の死を見てきたからわかるはず。重要なのは死んだという結果だけであって過程はどうでもいいらしいってことをね。それと同じで桐生って人の死に方は問わないと思う。
In other words,
死が決まっているか。
in other words, I can kill her instead of letting her commit suicide?
から殺しても構わないか。まるで殺人犯ばりの論旨展開だな。
偽善ぶるな。私は今人としての倫理を捨てて話してんのよ。岡部も付き合いなさい。
She's as brutally illogical as ever. But it actually feels nice to speak so frankly.
だが法律はどうする。世界がそれを許しても社会は許さない。
タイムリープマシンがある限り相手を殺しても時間を遡れば全てなかったことにできる。
Please do not let Okabe suddenly get that god complex that he almost got in the other alternate ending.
岡部は誰も殺さずに必要な情報だけを入手したっていう結果だけが残るわけ。
把握した。
ただこれだけは覚えておいて。全ては自己責任よ。これだけ好き放題言ってる私はかなり無責任だけど。
問題ない。実にマッドサイエンティスト的な意見だった。
さっさと片をつけなさい。じゃあね。
She hangs up without another word. Strangely, I find Kurisu's harsh tone encouraging. Moika's still sitting on the floor. Kill her if you have to, Kurisu said. Moika did the same to us. She doesn't deserve mercy. Even after I undo the murder, the memory of my crime will remain with me. That sin, that guilt, I'll have to carry that weight. I mustn't ever forget. That's what Kurisu meant when she spoke of responsibility. Murder is unforgivable, no matter the circumstances. Can you understand that, Kiryu Moeka? I reach for Moeka's phone. This time, there's no hesitation. Moeka resists.
携帯を よこせ。でないと殺す。
We're pushing and shoving at this point. Moika still persists and refuses to let go of the phone. This is getting me nowhere. Knowing my next move, I clench my fist. Oh, that's so satisfying. I was so happy they kept it in the punching thing. In the visual novel, the original, Okabe actually can't find it in him to punch Moika and instead, like, kind of like chokes her, and that's where that sound effect is coming from. In the anime, he straight up decks her. Like that, and it was pretty satisfying to watch. And now someone has, my best friend Mike has like that on repeat. She wants her phone back. I don't care. I quickly shut the door behind me. The doorknob rattled as she tried to open it. I can finally save my Yuri. Moika change to the path will be cancelled. The world line will change. The IBN 5100 will come back to me. And then we'll hack into CERN. Mission complete.
はい、マキセ。
D メールの設定を頼む。
変な音が聞こえるけど。
少しばかり修羅場中でな。
殺さなかったのね。Good job.
Okay, Kurisu. I can tell Moika that I can tell her Moika the dress.
入力完了。
参りは
まだいる。ブラウン管工房で店長さんと話してる。42型ブラウン管をつけさせておくためにね。
話してないだろうな。
あの子が死ぬこと言えるわけない。
だったらいい。まだ切るなよ。
I put my phone down and resumed typing into Moika's phone. Moika D-mail said don't change models. The desire for a limited edition, hard to find products is hard-coded into Japanese DNA. Appealing to that instinct should work. The insistent pounding on the door grows louder. Grows. I can't believe how persistent she is. Is her phone really that important to her? But I've already won. All I have to do is send the D-mail. This will end my relationship with Moeka. It ends now. I mutter the words in my heart. And press send. Reading Steiner didn't activate.
なんでだよ。
Why didn't the world line change? Did the phone wave fail to function?
どうだ。
送ったの？
送った。ちゃんと動作したのか。
こっちはちゃんと放電現象を確認した。
正常に動作したんだな。
間違いなくね。
世界線が変わらない。
失敗した。原因は？
Consider the possibilities.
メールの文面では機種変をやめようとする萌香を説得できなかったか。
送り先の日付を間違えた可能性は？
7月31日。それは間違いない。
桐生って人が最初に送った D メールの着信時間を調べるべき。それより先か後かで受け取った側の印象はだいぶ変わる。
めんどくさいな。
Did she finally give up? No, she wouldn't give up. Does she plan to climb out the window and loop around?
何パターンかいろんな文章を送ってみて。それで効果が出ないようならこっちでタイマーを微調整する。
助かる。そっちの様子は？ミスター・ブラウンが乗り込んできてないか？
今下から怒鳴り声が聞こえてる。きっと橋田と真由里が必死でなだめてるはずだけど、いつまで持つか。あまり余裕はないと思って。
I changed the message and sent another Gmail. But still, nothing happens. I make another one. Send. No good. Why? What am I doing wrong? Think. Why didn't the D-mail work? What if Moeka changed addresses when she got a new phone?
聞こえるか？
まだ問題が？
2回送り直したが効果なしだ。あ？
I feel uneasy for some reason. What is it?
岡部？
Gaudy purple. Removable LCD screen. Model numbers GG01.
何も変わっていないだと。
何の話？
Why is it the same as before Moeka sent her Gmail? Moeka Gmail said don't change models. She should have had a different phone when she sent it.
あの女、まさか。
Moeka Gmail wasn't about her phone. That explains how it affected the IBM 5100. It also explains why my cancellation Gmails aren't working.
ふざけた真似を。
The door violently shakes behind my back. It's much stronger than before. It's as if she's slamming something hard and heavy against the door.
異常だろ。
I suppose I should be thankful she doesn't have a gun, but honestly, this is terrifying enough. It chills my bones to think of what her face must look like right now. I've never been the target of such single-minded obsession before. But unfortunately, I can't run away. I need to face Moeka again and wring that information out of her. Both Ferris and Rukako remember their Gmails.
岡部？岡部！ 夫なの？
どうやら萌香の送った D メールは機種変更に関することじゃなかったらしい。
どういうことよ？
おそらくあの女は送る直前で内容を差し替えたんだ。俺が何をやっても世界線が変わらないのはそのせいだ。
着信履歴はそこに残ってるかもしれない。
着信履歴？
Of course. Oh shit. Even if it's not in her sent history, it should be in the arrival history. I don't know what Moeka Dmail said, but I know exactly who she sent it to.
うっかりしていた。調べてみる。
If Moeka's phone hasn't changed, even better. For a second there, I thought it would be easy. I should have known better. Her mailbox is literally hundreds of entries over the last week, almost all to FB.
クリスティーナ、少し手こずりそうだ。もし俺が失敗したら、あとは頼む。
バカも休み休み言いなさい。状況によっては逃げることも大事。
I hang up. I'm not leaning against the door anymore. Moeka could just open it, but she hasn't realized that. She's so fixated on getting her phone back, she'd destroy her own door. In any case, I don't have time to check her mail history. I carefully grip the doorknob and wait for the interval between bangs. Now! I yank the door open. The coffee table flies out and smashes into the walkway railing.
Okabe!
I get goosebumps. Her screech raises hairs all over my body. But then I remember what I'm here to do. First, I had to restrain her again. This is the woman who would kill on command. It's too dangerous to let her be. There's no time. It's now or never. Our bodies collide. I should have known she wouldn't give up. Well, the anime's not any better with that. Just saying. Next, she struggled to free her body. Same result. See, even though Okabe is like pretty weak, he is still, for what it's worth, doing a pretty good job restraining Moeka here.
何時間でも付き合ってやる。どっちが先に体力が尽きると思う？
Moeka, without a doubt.
めいてろ。お前が携帯依存だろうが FB から見捨てられようが知ったことじゃない。
You'd be pretty amazed, even though I'm like relatively strong. A lot of people's body weights are significantly heavier than mine, but I can still get them off me, even if they're holding both arms. The power of legs is a beautiful thing.
この世界線ではお前が直接手をかけるわけじゃないし、これまでお前がマユリに対してやったことは
That
す
and
でになかったことになっている。
that and also she's a rounder. She's kind of trained for this stuff, so.
だがそんなの俺からしてみれば知ったことじゃないんだ。なかったことを俺は全部覚えている。だからお前への憎しみは消えてないんだ。お前がマユリを殺した事実は俺の中に刻まれてるんだよ。今日はお前を逃がさないからな。きっちり向き合ってやる。
Until now, I've always run away from facing Moeka. I can't do that, but I can't do that on this world line. I have to know what her D-mail said, so it can be undone.
腹を割って話そうじゃないか。
And then there's that!
携帯などなくてもちゃんと話せるではないか。え？
誰クズがお前の写真をツタツタになるまで包丁で切り刻んでやる。
Oh my god. I know she said a lot of shit during this moment, but I don't remember all of it.
切り刻むのはマッドサイエンティストのお箱だ。
死ね死んでよ犯される助けて
Oh shit! This woman's out of control.
ねえ、隣の西田だけど大丈夫？警察呼んだ方がいいかしら？必要ないならこのアパート声が響くのよ。
And now you're just like complaining? They've been yelling for how long? She'd been bashing the door for how long? Damn, I didn't think about that. I can't have her calling the police. What now? I need to silence Moeka somehow.
警察よ
まったく最近の若い子は。
What a relief. God, I hate this moment. I feel a sharp pain on my lip. I instinctively jerk away. She bit me!
初々しい女ぶっているんじゃない。俺より年上のくせに。
How much time has passed? It feels like it's already been dozens of hours. But it's still night outside, so it probably hasn't been more than an hour, than 1 or 2. Moika hasn't said a word since I kissed her, unfortunately. Has she given up? Either way, I can't let my guard down.
岡部君、どうしたら返してくれる？
I never thought she'd be the one to extend an olive branch. She's asking what does she have to do for him to give it back, by the way. Just saying. This is what I was waiting for. Now I can move in for the kill. But not the literal
お前は D メールを送ったことを覚えているか？
D 何？
D メール、過去へ送ることのできるメール。お前はそれを送った。お前自身の携帯へな。機種変更に関する内容だと思っていたが、それは嘘だった。お前は俺たちの目をごまかしてこっそりメールの内容を入れ替えたんだ。その結果、世界線が変わった。お前は覚えていないか？
知らない。
知らないんじゃない。思い出していないだけなんだ。思い出せ。お前は思い出さなければならない。
Or else what? I don't know. This is just a tactic to put pressure on Moeka. I have another plan to make her remember.
本当に知らないの？思い出せるならそうするけど、わからないわ。一体何のことなのか。
Just a little more, and her resistance will end.
だったら質問を変える。2週間ほど前、お前は奇妙なメールを受け取ったはずだ。差出人はお前自身の携帯。しかもそのメールは数日後の未来から送信されていた。覚えがあるな。それがお前が送った D メールだ。内容を教えろ。
教えたら
携帯は返す。
クソ。
Imagine if they like dubbed this line and just like, fuck you.
内容は言えない。
なぜだ。
ラウンダーに関係する。
What is she talking about? I recall what Moeka told me on a previous world line. The rounded mission is to find and acquire IBN 5100s.
IBN 5100。それに関することだな。
どこまで知っている？メールの。
質問をするのは俺だけだ。いいから答えろ。
言えない。FB を裏切ることに。
携帯よりも FB を選ぶのか。大した忠誠心だな。
But Mayuri's fate hangs in the balance. I can't give up. She's running out of willpower. She won't be able to hold out much longer. If she won't talk now, then I'll just wait until she will.
携帯がないとそんなに苦痛か。なぜそこまで依存する？
会話まともにできなくて。
今はしているではないか。
メールまでできなくなったら私は世界から断絶してしまう。
世界だと？孤独な女を気取っているつもりか。お前が恐れているのはラウンダーから見捨てられることだろう。
違う、ラウンダーじゃなくて FB から見捨てられること。
That's the same thing, isn't it? Isn't it?
だったら世界などと言うな。何の罪もない女の子を容赦なく殺した分際でマユリを世界から断絶させた分際で。
殺してない。
そう、この世界線ではな。だが別の世界線においてはお前はラウンダーとして俺たちのタイムマシンを奪おうとした。その時に殺したマユリを。
Oh good, it didn't explode this time. In another world line. When I talked to her below the overpass, she told me that Mayuri was unnecessary. It didn't matter to Thurn whether she lived or died.
FB の指示なら殺したと思う。絶対に。
FB とは何者だ？一体どこにいる？
I asked her the same question back then, but another rounder appeared before she can answer. Something told me she won't have backup this time. Moika's position in the rounders had changed.
言えない。
ならばいいことを教えてやる。いいか。お前は今俺に捕まっている状況だが、助けを期待しているのなら無駄だ。どうせ誰も助けに来ない。お前は絶望に打ちひしがれたまま4日後に自殺する。俺は5日後から来た。セルンが欲しがるタイムマシンを使ってな。だから知っている。 お前はこの部屋で一人孤独に自分を殺すんだ。お前の大好きな FB はお前を助けない。ラウンダーもセルンも300人委員会もだ。どれだけメールしても上司からの連絡はないんだろう。それはなぜだ。もう見捨てられているんだよ。
Guilt squeezes my heart. I know that I'm causing this woman pain. I'm clearly hurting the woman in front of me. An insane mad scientist my ass. I'm afraid to hurt my mortal enemy. I'm nothing but a hypocrite.
FB をかばう必要はない。だから全て話せ。
FB は裏切らない。私を見捨てない。
だったらなぜお前は4日後に自殺すると思う。
お前が私を殺すのよ。自殺に見せかけて。
俺はそんなヘマはしない。俺ならお前を殺した後でタイムリープする。
私は
FB から返事が来ないと言ってこの部屋で死んだような顔をしていたのはどこのドイツだ。もう何日来ていない。 FB からの連絡は普段はどのくらいの頻度で来ていていつから来なくなった。
普段毎日連絡を。でももう10日近く。
10日も連絡が来ていない。そうだな。
私裏切れないよ。
お前は裏切られたんだよ。
FB を信じてる。
お前は切り捨てられた。利用されるだけされてな。もう用済みということだ。
FB はそんな人じゃ。
だったらどんな人なんだ。
お母さんみたいに私に優しくて、私はやっと心地いい居場所を。
FB is a woman?
悩みを相談したり、いつもすぐに返事くれた。友達みたいでも包み込む優しさがあって。
会ったことは。
Moika shakes her head weakly.
会ったことがない。お母さんみたいで友達みたいでお前にとって心地いい居場所だったのに。
Damn, if they had met, then I could have gotten Moika to lead me to her.
ラウンダーは互いの正体隠すのがルールで。
連絡は取り合っていたのに一度も会ったことはない。確かに会うのはルール違反かもな。だがお前は
違うよ。あ される。だから会いたいなんて思わない。
会いたいと言われたことは？
一度もないし、言ったこともない。
その様子だと電話もしたことがないな。避けられているとは思わなかったのか？そこまで親身になってくれた優しい女上司がお前に会おうとしない理由は本当にルールだけか？そしてなぜ連絡をよこさない理由を考えてみろ。振り込め詐欺と同じだ。お前は騙されていたんだ。
FB を悪く言わないで。そんな人じゃない。
連絡が途絶える前、最後のメールはどんな内容だった？
IBN5100 を指定場所に置いておけって。
This points to only one conclusion. She sent herself the location of the IBN 5100.
その場所はどこだ？
コインドッカー大ビル前の。
Daibiru, that's how you say it. Wait, isn't that where Rukako hid the IBN 5100 on the previous world line? Is this another effect of convergence? Can I retrieve the IBN 5100 if I go there now? No, I can't expect it to still be there. I sighed deeply and lifted myself off of Moeka's body. Then I leaned back against the wall and stretched my aching limbs. Ah! It's from Kurisu. I love every email from Kurisu, and this one is also a true end flag message where you're supposed to reply with worried. Anyway, let's read this bad boy. Contact me, you baka. Kono baka. Is everything alright? What happened with that Kiryu lady? At least let me know if you're still alive. Don't say anything stupid like you're dead, okay? Please, just reply. Even an email will do. I'm so worried I can't eat. I can't even eat. Oh shit. I burped. Also, it's probably for the best that you didn't see much of that scene. Either way. I'm sorry for making you worry. I appreciate these emails, I really do. They remind me that I'm not alone. And worried. Don't worry, I won't die. Not until I've fulfilled my promise to go to Amamori with you. Ah! There, that should do it. I opened Moeka's mailbox and searched for the D-mail. It feels like I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. It takes about 3 minutes, but I finally find it. The mail was sent on August 4th at 2:37 p.m. and received on July 31st at 10:37 a.m. Just as I suspected, Moeka changed her Gmail in the few seconds I had my back turned. All I need to do now is send the cancellation Gmail.
岡部
今ラボにいるか？
心配させんなバカ。
心配してくれていたのか？
どう見ても死亡フラグ立ってたから無事なのが驚きよ。
Yeah, that was a death flag when I think about it. I won't die. Not until I go to Amamori with you. Wait a minute.
今どこにいる？
ちゃんとラボで待機中。
もう一度 D メールを送る。準備を頼む。
タイマー設定は
31日の11時頃に着くように設定を。
31日の11時ということは準備 OK。
よし、起動してくれ。
起動した。
ダメだ。なぜ変わらない？
また間違い？
いや、そんなはずはない。萌香の D メールの内容も確認済みだ。それを否定するメールを送った。
What the hell's wrong this time?
最初の D メールの内容は
柳林神社に IBN5100 があると知らせるものだ。今のメールでそれは罠だと否定したんだが、もう一度別の文面で再送を。
待った。 D メールの面倒な部分についてはロト6の実験で検証済みでしょ。 D メールを読んだ人間がその通りに行動するかどうかは個人の資質に影響される。桐生って人は神社に IBN5100 があると知らされた。直後にそれを否定するメールが来ても構わず神社へ行ったという推測が導ける。
I don't know why in my head I just suddenly heard, how about I do anyway?
否定するメールを信じなかったか、あるいはクソ真面目に否定されても念のために調べてみたかということか。
I glanced at Moeka.
厄介ね。神社に調べに行くことにリスクが発生すると伝えても聞いてくれなかったっていうことだから。
より強制力の強い文面にするしかない。神社に行くのを禁止させるぐらいの。
どうやって？
That's the problem. Is it possible to persuade her with just 36 bytes of text?
例えば7月30日のお礼と D メールを送り、先に IBN5100 を回収させるという方法は。
その日のあんたは IBN5100 に興味があったのか？
When did I start caring about the IBN 5100? I can't remember. Fine, that's out. So how do I convince Moeka to listen?
FB だ。
What?
何？
What? Facebook?
萌香の上司、依存の対象。FB からのメールなら 無条件で信じるはず。
その FB とかいう人の携帯持ってるの？
いいや、会ったことさえない。どこにいるかもわからない。
話にならない。
少し時間をくれ。
また待たせるのか？まあ、私はずっとラボに泊まり込んでるからいいけど。
I really like Kurisu. It's my spring break, but here I am not sleeping at all.
あんまり無茶しないでね。
So even after prying answers out of Moeka, there's still more work to be done. Fuck, I couldn't get this done in 2 hours. FB's identity. FB's location. Unless I can find out both, I'll never be able to break out of this world line. I call Moeka's name. When she finally looks up, I drop her phone onto her lap.
FB を探すことになった。お前はどういう経緯でラウンダーに？
Honestly, I couldn't care less.
4年前死のうとしてた。何の希望も持てなくて、何もかもが嫌になって。
原因は？
特にこれっていうのは、でも小さなことがたくさん積み重なって、もともとこんな性格だし。
家族は？
Moeka shakes her head a little.
でも死ぬのを失敗して、そこにメールが「ラウンダー募集」って個人宛てじゃなくて一斉送信の。
Isn't that just spam? Do the Rounders really recruit like that?
私はどうでもよくなってた。だから気づいたら返信してた。そしたら連絡が来たの、 FB から。それからずっと FB の指示に従ってた。
ずっとこの秋葉に？
3ヶ月前まで名古屋、その前は横浜、その前は。
The Rounder chief duty to acquire IBN 5100. And yet they had her traveling all over Japan, digging up info on retro PCs.
これまでに IBN5100 をいくつ見つけた？
You might get into some shady business if you do that.
一台も。
No results? It sounds like CERN is spending a lot of effort for not much return.
お前はこの後どうするつもりだ？ただ絶望に打ちひしがれて予定通り自殺するか？抗おうとは思わないのか？
抗う？
Even as I asked the question, I know that for her, rebellion is impossible. This world line has already approved her death. She's in the same situation as Mayuri. No matter what she does, she will die.
FB はお前を利用し見捨てた。それを認めろ。その上で FB に対してどうしたいと考えているんだ。
利用されていたとしても、私の居場所そこしかなかったから、初めてだった。生きてきた中で自分が必要とされたこと、 FB が居場所を与えてくれたの。私にその居場所を守るためなら生きがいを与えてくれた FB を何だってする。
お前は救いようのないバカだ。だったら依存したまま死んでいけ。お前の死は確定している。だが俺は世界の思い通りになっていいとは思わない。だから徹底的に抗う。
No matter what, I will save Mayuri. Just a little bit more. I can't give up now. It's from Kurisu. Maybe this isn't what you want to hear, but I need you to listen. I don't care about Amamori anymore. I just want you to be safe, Okabe. When you ran out without saying anything yesterday, it felt like my heart was going to explode. So hurry back, please. It's midnight, and Akiba is practically empty. The silence is eerie. Oh my god. There's no sign of anyone near the coin locker. Considering the IBM 5100 size, it couldn't fit in the regular size lockers. She must have put it in one of the 3 larger lockers on the right.
使用中。
The bottom locker is in use. Sure. Is the IBN 5100 really inside? I want to check right this instant. I can't believe I forgot to ask Moeko which locker she used. Should I get a crowbar or something to pry the locker open? Let's try it, just to make sure. First, I make a quick visit to the lab. Then I return to the lockers and thrust the pointed tip of the crowbar into the crack of the door. Yes! Just as I began to pry, a sheer siren shattered the night. A shrill. I look up to see the red lights on the patrol car coming this way. Their timing couldn't be worse. I'm stuck in an interrogation room all night, getting preached to by policemen. I conclude that this is another effect of retractor field convergence. You actually did get arrested. Oh my god, I was so hoping they were gonna do that. I'm so happy they did it. Oh my god. I'm really happy that they showed the scene where Okabe gets fucking arrested. No matter what I do, I cannot obtain an IBN 5100 on this world line. This is what fate has decreed. I get the police to call my father, and they finally release me. Oh, I love that. Stop right there, criminal scum! After my father goes home, I head straight to Moeka's apartment. Oh my god. I tried calling her. I took the opportunity to memorize her phone number yesterday, but she wouldn't pick up at all. Before I get there, I send Daru a mail. You know the coin locker in front of Daibiru. I need you to check if the big locker on the lower right is in use, please. This is very important. Okay.
IBN5100 を入れたのは右下のコインロッカーで合っているか？
なぜ
IBN5100 が入る大きさのロッカーはあそこには3つしかなかった。そのうちもしお前が一番下に入れたというなら FB はまだ IBN5100 を回収していないことになる。この意味がわかるか？あそこに貼っていれば FB が回収しに来た時に会えるということだ。その発想はなかったか？ラウンダーのくせに冷静さが欠けているぞ、お前。俺は張り込んでみようと思う。お前は？
Wait a minute. Found it. Checked the big locker on the lower right is in use. What is that? What's this about anyway? Don't make me your errand boy so early in the morning, fool! Oh my god.
会ってどうするの？
FB に携帯を借りる。
Not the best way to prevent Moeka from going to Yanabayashi Shrine.
会えない。会う勇気ない。幻滅される。
お前はとっくに幻滅されているか？最初から期待すらされていなかった。
Oof. Just like Jaru's mail said, the locker is still occupied when I get there. I look around to make sure there are no patrol cars. I head across the street of Daibiru and begin the stakeout. I wouldn't want a security guard to give me trouble. So hungry. I'd love to get some food, but I can't take my eyes off that locker. Just then, somebody taps me on my shoulder. FB?
お前、なんでここに？
私も張り込みを。ダメかな？
なぜ心変わりした？お前は FB とのメールだけの関係に居心地の良さを感じていた。その適度な距離感に依存していたはず。なのになぜ今さら一歩を踏み出そうと思った？
このままじゃ FB からの連絡がなくなったら私世界とのつながりが
断絶されるか。
Moeka nods faintly.
孤独に耐えられないくらい弱いのに FB の命令さえあれば容赦なく人も殺せるとはな。典型的な狂信者だよお前は。
And her cult leader, FB, abused her weakness before throwing her out like old clothes. It pisses me off.
なんだこれは。もしかして差し入れか。
Moika nods.
よし許可する。お前も張り込みを手伝え。
You have brought me food. You may join. Now we can take turns watching, and we'll also look less suspicious to passerbyers. The night draws on, and still no sign of FB. Fucking bastard. We nap in 1-hour shifts, but it doesn't help the exhaustion. On top of that, I don't have anyone to talk to. Moika can't keep a conversation going, so there's nothing I can do to starve off boredom. The wait finally ends just after 1 p.m. on the 13th. Someone come to open the lower right locker. We watch from behind the pillar.
あいつが FB か。
FB は女性よ。
となると雇われて回収しに来た人間かもしれない。
The man had the key to the locker. He paid the late fee with 100 yen coins, then removed the cardboard box with the IBN 5100 inside. With a bit of effort, he managed to load the IBN 5100 on the push cart and begins walking away.
追うぞ。
When the man arrives at Akihabara Station, he leaves the cart next to him and begins reading a magazine. A short while after, a second man in a white t-shirt casually walks past him, taking the cart as he goes. The first guy doesn't even look up.
妙だな。
What was the purpose of that transfer? Was this just a handoff from a collector to a transporter? At any rate, if we keep following the IBN 5100, we should reach FB eventually. We follow the man into the station. Can't help but stare at a tattoo on his neck. Taking care not to be spotted, I continue to observe him. More than 30 minutes pass, and the man hardly moves a muscle. Here, the train sees a sharp increase in passenger traffic.
降りる。
We follow him, but due to our slow reaction, we have to push our way through the boarding passengers. Not wanting to lose him in the crowd, I follow close behind him. But then I stop in my tracks. His suitcase is missing. What?
尾行対策か。
They know how to lose it. They know how to lose a tail. I return to the lab and leap an hour back. I find myself inside the train.
新宿駅で仕掛けてくるぞ。あの男、降りたと見せかけて荷物を別の人間に受け渡す。さっきはまんまと引っかかった。
さっき
俺は1時間後からタイムリープしてきたんだ。
Wait, how did he do that? You know what? Never mind.
タイムリープ。
The train arrived at Shinjuku on schedule. The door opens and the passengers spew out.
やはり
After the incident, the package swaps couriers like a hot potato, snaking around the tracks that run through Tokyo like a web. Yamana. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna suffer right now. Yamanote Line, Meguro Station, Nambuku Line, Nagato Station, Urakocho Line, Ikebukuro Station, Fukutoshin Line, Shinjuku Sanchome Station, Toei Shinjuku Line, Kudashita Station, Tozai Line, Kayabacho Station. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Wherever they give me the slip, I time leap and resume the chase. Finally, the courier and packager get aboard the Hibiya line and return to Akihabara Station, where it all began. I hate this so much. I recognize the last courier. He's one of the men who raided the lab with Moeka. A car honks its horn. Moeka and I immediately ride. A muscular man hops out of the truck.
Huh?
No, it can't be. Why is he here? Does that mean he connected to FB? To the Rounders? What's going on here? His shop is right below the lab. If he connected to the enemy... I shiver at the thought. As we continue to watch from a distance, Tenoji takes the suitcase and loads it onto the truck. Then he gets into the truck alone and takes off toward Showa Dori. I stare after it in disbelief. I time leap several hours before the first man. No. Ugh. I time leap several hours to before the first man arrived at the coin locker. Then I explained the situation to Moeka. My plan is to get ahead of the package. After killing some time at Starbucks, we rent a car. I don't have a license, so Moeka driving.
Kinchouしているのか? 肩に力が入りすぎているぞ。
ペーパー。
ペーパーって、ペーパードライバーということか。勘弁してくれ。 事故るなよ。
Okay. I was surprised Moeka had a license in the first place. Apparently, FB told her it would come in handy for her rounder work. Finally, we arrive at Tenoji's house in Okachimachi.
どういうこと？ FB はどこ？
あの家に運び込んだことが何を意味するかだ。一時的な保管場所ということなのか、それとも。
Moeka insists that FB is a woman. Running in the 90s. So maybe it's Tenoji's wife, whom I never met. Have Moeka show me one of FB's emails.
M4 というのが私のコードネーム。それも FB がつけてくれた。
Moeka's a mailing machine. She sent FB nearly 10 mails a day, but FB replied to every single one of them. You'd have to be a saint to reply to all those emails. No wonder Moeka was so dependent on FB. I know this is true.
今度はここで張り込みだな。
We parked a couple blocks away and watched the video feed. The next day, Tenoji goes to work on his moped. Like usual, he returns after sunset. There's no sign of his daughter, Nai, or his wife. Something finally happened happens early Sunday morning. Just before 3 a.m., a white station wagon stops in front of Tenoji's house, and a number of men come flooding out.
あれは。
They're the rounders who raided the lab with Moeka.
今度はどこへ？
Moped? Okay. I'm interested in Tenoji's story, but the IBN 5100 will lead us to FB. We decide to follow the station wagon. The pursuit ends at Narita International Airport. God. I'm exhausted from that. The six men, IBN 5100 in tow, board a plane headed for France. Anyway, doesn't matter. Returns home country. What does this mean?
天王寺の妻が FB の可能性がある。
Since there'd been no sign of FB this far, she must be an extremely cautious individual, but the evidence suggests only one possibility. On World Line Alpha 1, Moeka's men attacked the night the time leap machine was completed. Their timing was perfect. It would make sense if you assume that Tenoji is closely linked to FB. He was right downstairs the whole time we were discussing our plans. FB knew exactly what we were up to. When we get back to Akiba, Moeka and I start walking towards Tenoji's house. But on the way, I get an angry call from Kurisu demanding an update, so I decide to take care of that first.
あんたね、少しは連絡したらどうなの？
ずっと立て込んでいたのだ。
立て込んでたね。
Kurisu glances at Moeka.
もしかして心配していたのか？
I'm pretty sure her email made that explicitly clear.
私じゃないわよ。私は別にあんたがどこで何をしてようが知ったことじゃないけど。ただまゆりはすごく心配してた。見てて痛々しいぐらいにね。
Oh, I wonder my controller fall here.
せめてあの子にだけは連絡してあげなさいよ。
Now that she mentions it, it feels like I haven't talked to Mayuri in forever.
すべてはマユリを救うため。敵の正体がもうすぐ分かりそうなんだよ。
というか敵って彼女は敵じゃないの？
敵だが真実を求めるため協調体制をとっている。
マユリを殺す人なんでしょ？
そうだ。
However, Moeka's just a pawn, and one that no longer poses a threat. To save Mayuri, I need to capture the king. Well, the king's cell phone.
まあいい。それでこれからどこか行くんでしょ？私も
正気か助手よ。
正気だけど助手じゃないから。
危険かもしれないぞ。
え？今日の私は死ぬことになってる？
Dear God. I've experienced the future, so I know who died today.
いや、お前は死なない。
だったら問題なし。世界から死なないことを保証されたようなものだから。
Right, Kurisu doesn't die today. Neither did Mayuri. The only person who died today is Kiryu Moeka. Today, she kills herself. I've already told Moeka her fate. But in spite of that, Moeka doesn't seem upset. At least on the surface. She's expressionless as always. The difference is that she's not checking her phone as often. But Moeka's not a strong woman. Beneath that expressionless mask, she is struggling against the fear of death? Is she struggling the fear? Whatever. I decided to confront Tenoji directly. I have Kurisu stand guard from afar while Moeka and I go inside. Now that we're planning to break in, we ring the doorbell like honest citizens. Tenoji soon opens the door and invites us into the living room. The divergent meteor the divergent meter is sitting in its usual spot. I glance at the numbers.
よく来てくれたな。
It's just after dawn, much too early for guests, but Tenoji welcomes us with a smile.
ずいぶん早起きなんですね、ミスター・ブラウン。
まあな、苗の学校の時間に合わせてるから基本的に早起きなんだよ。今夏休み中だがもう習慣になっちまってる。
お嬢さんはまだ寝ているんですか？
うるせえ、前のこと聞き出してどうするつもりだ。 寝込みを押そうとしたらマジで殺す。
しませんよ。
I'm more interested in his wife. He showed us into his house, but she'd nowhere to be found. Is she asleep too? Or could she be hiding somewhere? I'd like to do a thorough search of the house, but of course that's impossible. And then there's what he said just now about seeing Nai off to school. That sounded like something a single father would say. I suspected that FB was Tenoji's wife, but that may have been a mistake. I need answers. But how do I get them? Moika is just staring at the floor. And whether or not Tenoji's wife is FB, I don't think this man would fall for any tricks.
数時間前、この家の前に6人の男が集まり、とあるものを持ってフランスに渡った。そのことについて当然ご存知ですね。
I did not mean to press B.
それが
IBN5100。あなたは知っているはずだ。
幻のレトロ PC だろう。
Tenoji seems like a completely different person today.
あなたは何者だ？運び屋か？それともラウンダーか？
うん。おめえは裏切ったのか？ M4。
M4 is Moeka codename. Something only FB should know.
もしかして FB。
フェルディナント・ブラウンって知ってるか？
Moeka and I look at each other, confused by the sudden change of topic.
おいおい、ブラウン管を発明したノーベル物理学賞の偉人だぞ。
Tenoji has a thing for bronze tubes. I know that. But what does that have to do with anything?
フェルディナント・ブラウン。頭文字は？
あ、
FB。
そういうことだ。
How awkward that Okube had been calling him Mr. Braun for a really long time, and his codename is FB, which means Ferdinand Braun. I told you it was fucking important! Tenoji asked if we can talk elsewhere, so we left his house. I imagine he didn't want Nai overhearing him. Wait, what? Meeting up with Karisu on the way, we follow him. We walk about 15 minutes to the construction site, and as we enter, wait, what? Tenoji casually produces a handgun. The motion is so smooth and natural that I didn't even recognize it as a gun at first. Wait, what? Its heavy form gives off a chilling black luster. The muzzle had pointed at Moeka. What? What is he thinking? Pulling a gun on us? Moeka and I are unarmed. We didn't plan for this.
一つ聞かせてください。あなたの奥さんは
苗を産んだ時に死んだ。それが
No wonder I've never seen her. She would never there in the first place. Tenoji is FB?
そんな。いやいや。
Why is it in his inner monologue that he constantly calls him Tenoji even though he had the habit of still calling him Mr. Braun? What the fuck?
俺への依存の次は現実逃避か？
We're at an overwhelming disadvantage. I was a fool to believe the direct approach would work. Now my recklessness is going to get us killed. No, not us. If nothing else, I'll be spared. The world doesn't want me dead today. My survival is guaranteed. Well, as long as the attractor field model holds true. However, Moika had no protection. Wait, what the fuck? She died today. It doesn't matter how. What am I going to do about it? Nothing. It doesn't matter. My goal is to obtain FB's cell phone and send a Gmail to Moeka in the past. That is the reason I'm here.
あなたがラウンダーの一員だったとはな。セルンの犬だったとはな。
犬か。間違っちゃいねえな。
I'm really confused, but you guys don't know why. Not yet. I'll tell you guys later, but is this really who he is? Was that gruff but good-hearted storekeeper just an act?
よりによってあなたがラウンダーとは。橋田鈴はあなたにそんなことをさせるために世話をしてやったんじゃない。
なんだよおめえ。鈴さんのこと知ってんのか？だったらもっと早く言ってくれよ。
Tenoji and I haven't spoken about Suzuha in this world line.
だがな、ずいぶん分かったようなこと言うじゃないか。鈴さんは10年も前に死んだんだ。その当時、岡部は8歳かそこらだろ。なのに鈴さんのことが分かるってのか。
わかるさ。
My anger and frustration overwhelm me.
俺の主観時間では彼女はほんの数週間前までこの時代にいた。
未来を変えるのは君たちにかかってる。私は荷物をこの秋葉原に絶対持ってくるから。そして君たちに責任をお願い。未来を変えてほしい。
It seems so long ago. But in reality, it's only been a couple of days.
あなたのすぐ近くにいたんだよ彼女は。橋田鈴、いや天音鈴葉はセルンと戦うためにこの時代にやってきたタイムトラベラーだ。
日本
気づかなかったのか FB。 あなたの恩人は2036年からやってきたんだよ。我がラボの一員 誰の娘だ。鈴葉はセルンを恨んでいた。なのにその鈴葉に世話になったあなたはセルンの犬か。これでは鈴葉が浮かばれないぞ。
でたらめ言ってんじゃねえよ。
どうしてこんなことになった。
うるせえな。いろいろあるんだよ。
Complicated. Is that supposed to be an excuse?
本当に FB。
Tenoji sighs and lowers his gun.
ああ、そうだ。
メールは
全部俺が書いた。なぜ女言葉かって？カムフラージュだよ。正体を隠すためのな。ネットでもネカマなんて腐るほどいるだろ。マジな話、大変だったんだぜ M4。メール送りすぎだタコ。おめえのくだらねえ相談に全レスしてやったんだ。感謝しろ。
そんな FB は私のお母さんみたいな存在で、私は FB のためなら何だって。
そう仕向けたんだよ。おめえみたいなメンヘルは簡単に依存してくれるから操りやすい。
もうやめろ。
なぜ連絡くれなかったの？
連絡？ああ、IBN5100 を手に入れた時点でおめえはもう用済みだからだ。
用済み。
That was obvious. I've been telling her this whole time. Moika had been abandoned.
ダイレクトメールでメンバーを募集するのは機密性の保持の観点からするとザルだけどな。それがラウンダーのやり方だ。そして IBN5100 を見つけたメンバーは任務達成となり口封じされる。例外なく全員だ。
What is he saying?
そうすることでセルンと委員会は機密を保持しつつ安い金で俺たちみてえなはみ出し者を利用してるわけだ。あいつらにしてみればラウンダーは全員駒さ。悲しいことにな。任務達成はすなわち処分確定。扱いとしては犬っつうより家畜だな。逆らえば家族が危険にさらされるんだ。大事な娘に手出しさせられねえだろ。
おいよせ。
すずさんには悪いと思ってるよ。ほんとなんでこんなことになったんだろうな。
He pulled the trigger. Tenoji's massive body dropped to the floor and sprawls out, motionless. He's dead. over, and I still don't understand what happened. Would he have killed himself even if we hadn't confronted him? Was his death too the will of fate? Tenoji had completed his mission. Maybe he chose to eliminate himself rather than face certain assassins.
バカだ。あなたは
I piped down hard on my lip.
娘を残して。何勝手に死んでるんだよ。
He meant to protect her with his sacrifice, but what is Nai supposed to do now?
しかも、なんで笑いながら死ねるんだよ。
All rounders are expendable, he said. Does that mean FB was just another pawn? Is that how CERN operates? That's insanity. This can't be real. Is Nai still asleep? Blissfully unaware of her father's suicide? How do I explain this to her? Should I run? Again, strictly speaking, my purpose is to obtain FB's phone. Once I send the D-mail and change the world lines, all of this would be undone. I don't need to burden myself with unpleasant responsibilities. I could run away, escape like a coward, and no one would even know.
携帯を探そう。
I need Tenoji's phone. I find Tenoji's phone in a jacket pocket. I'd spent the entire stakeout wondering how I would get it from him. I was ready to kill him for it if I had to. But to think that he would kill himself. Okay, I'm just gonna point this out now because I've been like kind of holding it in. There's a huge amount of confusion that's going on in my head. At the same time, I'm kind of laughing because I know where this animation is being used in the anime, and it's kind of funny how they're avoiding what this animation actually did in the anime. So there's a little tidbit for you to like look up the anime for that. Alongside that, I do have to mention my extreme confusion throughout this entire thing. Well, you might have noticed that Kurisu had literally done nothing in this scene. In the visual novel, the original, this happens all in the house. They never leave the place. Tenoji kills himself inside the house, and it's just like, oh my god, and Kurisu's like out there who just hears a gunshot, and she's like, what the fuck? But anyway, also hi Jay. It must have been quite a shock to hear Tenoji FB's confession. FB told her that she was useless. But in that case, why wasn't Moeka killed? Oh my god, they really pounded it. It's so fucking hilarious, actually. I'm ruining the moment, but oh my god. She does get killed in the anime, in this scene, right there, which is why you're seeing this image right now. And those moments where we have a close-up of her face, she's actually dying in those scenes. Oh my god, it's so weird. See?
なあ、萌えか。もしかしたら FB はお前を生かそうとしたのかもしれない。 あの人はお前を見捨てたんじゃなくて突き放して生かそうとしたのかも。
This may just be wishful thinking. We'll never know FB's true intention. But I want to believe that Tenoji did care for her, that there was a place for Moeka somewhere.
岡部、今すぐ D メールを送るべきよ。今を逃すといろいろ面倒なことに巻き込まれるかもしれないから。
This is like the most warped area compared to the visual novel, the original one. Because, say it with me, in the visual novel, the original one, there's actually a lot of differences that you can notice. For one, when we were going through the Suzuha ending, we actually have a lot more dialogue in that ending, where we start off with Okabe mentioning that he referred to the 2 days as cycles, and so he's like, oh, this is the second cycle, this is the third cycle, and we keep going and going, and we obviously skip around a bit until he like goes to a descent of madness, and so they cut a bunch of that part of the visual novel so it would flow better and like progress smoothly along with the animation. And so this probably is the most warped version of the anime and the visual novel. This is like the complete mix. This is like the best way to like give you an example of how they mixed everything together, where they're showing these scenes from the anime while using the visual novel wording and the events in there, while just removing and changing a few things so that everything that we're seeing makes sense. And it's just like, this is really weird.
あんたの目的はマユリを救うことであってセルンへの復讐じゃないでしょ。私たちが作ったタイムリープマシンのせいで犠牲が出るのは気持ちのいいことじゃない。
ああ、そうだな。
I should send a D-mail and change the word line as soon as I can. When I do, the present will be reconstructed.
ダルはもうラボに来ていると思うか。
電話してみる。
I'll send the same message. I'll send the same message I tried to send earlier from Moeka's phone.
あと5分くらいでラボに着くって。こんにちは。
An innocent greeting. A child's voice. Familiar. What is she doing here? How did she get here? Why did she come here? The next instant, Moeka drops to her knees like a string-cut puppet. An innocent laugh. Hands dyed with blood. A cleaver in her hand.
嘘でしょ。嘘じゃない。
She looks straight at me, her eyes burning with intense hatred.
私は許さない。
The venom in her voice chills me to the bone.
父さんを死に追いやったお前たちを絶対に許さないから。私がこの手で殺してやるまで許さないから。
I'm in shock. I can't move.
岡部倫太郎、お前は15年後に殺す。それまで怯えて待ってなさい。
Oh my god! Nai tosses the knife away and leaves, laughing all the while.
Hi-, 今のはなんだ。悪魔か。何かが取り付いていたのか。
My brain screams at my body to move, but it's petrified.
いや、それよりも萌香が。
Moika's clothes are soaked in red. At least probably the back. It's blood. Moika had been stabbed.
萌香。
She's my enemy.
しっかりしろ。おい。
She killed my Yuri.
聞こえるか、萌香。
I can't understand her. I can't forgive her.
私はあなたの大切な人を殺したから。
Yes, you did. Countless times. Not on this world line, but on others.
But you...
The will of fate.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。私にとっては FB しかいなくて、私にとっての居場所、そこだけ。守るためなら殺す。恨まれて当然。ごめんなさい。
許すよ。
The words come out of my lips unbidden.
許す。
Perhaps the words are meaningless. Even if I forgive Moeka, and I will never stop hating us. Nevertheless, I thought, though it may only provide a shred of comfort,
お前を許す。
she's no longer breathing.
岡部、 D メールを 送るべきだと思う。もう準備はできてる。
あ、
Moika and FB are gone. But Mayuri's fate cannot be avoided. The universe still demands her death.
なあ、クリスティーナ。D メールを送って。ダイバージェンスが変わったら、萌香はそこで生きていると思うか？
あんたが言っていたアトラクタフィールド理論で考えるなら、ダイバージェンスが 1% 以上なら生きている確率は高くなる。ごめん、こんな思いやりもクソもない言い方しかできなくて。
いや、いいんだ。
Hell no, we're not gonna send the Dino yet. I still have some stuff to look at. I take one last look at Moika's body lying there. Casualty is a strange and terrifying thing. Moika, if you're going to apologize for a sin you didn't commit, then I must apologize as well. I am responsible for twisting your fate. And for twisting the fate of Tennoji Nai. I ruined that innocent girl's life, made her something other than what she was meant to be. Is it okay to just leave her like this? Of course, if I send the D-mail now, this world line will be undone. I should just think about Mayuri. I shouldn't burden myself with any more problems. Is this really okay? Why won't my fingers move? I already know what I need to do. I put FB's phone in my pocket.
見なかったことにはできない。
Oh my god, that's crazy face. Nai's crime is partly my responsibility. And I need to know what she meant when she promised to kill me 15 years from now.
タイムリープする。ラボに戻ろう。
Kurisu sighs, but I pretend not to hear it. Oh my god. Crazy faces, they really know how to do it.
というか、敵って、彼女は敵じゃないの？
今は朝の7時前だな。
は？そうだけど、何よ、いきなり。
After time leaping 2 hours back, I find myself in front of the station. After this comes the Tennoji residence. There is one other thing experience has taught me. Today, Moika and Tennoji will die, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. I didn't have the means to, and this isn't my problem. The problem is Nai. We arrive in front of the Tennoji house, just like we did before I time leap. I trade the same conversation, the same actions as last time, and I wait. And then... Tenoji shoots himself in the head. A sudden violence shocks Moeka and Kurisu, but I'm already inured to it. I've seen it all before. Sorry, Tenoji, but I don't feel anything at this point. Can't. I immediately look around. There she is. Nai is spying on us from afar. Her eyes blaze with a hatred beyond her years. As our eyes meet, Nai turns and runs away. Get that Naruto running, bitch!
Mate!
Nai's still running, ignoring my calls to stop. After telling Moeka to stay put and Kurisu to look for Tenoji's phone, I chase after Nai. She's just a child. Ugh. I close in on her quickly. Nai, occasionally looking back at me and grinding her teeth, eventually runs into a fenced-off construction site. Okay, sure.
Tomare!
Unexpectedly, Nai slowed down and eventually stopped to catch her breath. From the sound of her breathing, she must be at her limit.
お前は本当に天王寺苗かお前はこれから桐生萌香を殺すつもりなんだろ
そうよ。
父親の復讐か
お前と桐生萌香は父さんを殺した。
店長は自殺したんだ自分で頭を打ち抜いたそれに俺たちが行かなくてもあの男は自殺していただろう逆恨みだ
そんなの知ったことじゃない。
What?
父さんが死んだ時、桐生萌香はその場にいた。でも父さんが死ぬのを止めなかった。だから許さない。お前もだ、岡部倫太郎。お前に関わらなければ父さんは死ななくて済んだ。
Wait, is she blaming me for finding the IBN 5100? How the hell was I supposed to know?
だがお前はすぐには殺さない。殺せないからな。お前を殺すのは15年後。それまでせいぜい怯え続けるんだ。
お前は誰なんだ
She isn't Tenoji Nai.
15年後に殺すってどういう意味なんだ
そのままの意味だよ。お前は15年後に私が殺した。
Killed? Why is she using past tense? Did she?
タイムリープを
Nai suddenly whips out a knife. Caught completely off guard, I collapsed onto the floor. For a moment, I panicked, but somehow I managed to convince myself that I'm fine. I won't die here, I tell myself. This world line won't accept that. It's just like Nai said herself. It's not that she won't kill me, she can't. If she tried, something would surely interfere.
お前を殺した時のこと教えてあげようか。
Oh my god! It hasn't even like begun yet, what I'm looking for, but oh my god! Oh my god! Press the button, goddammit!
なんかレジスタンスの創始者とか言ってセルンに歯向かってたみたいだけど、私が拉致して監禁してやって考えつく限りのありとあらゆる拷問を加えてやったよ。お前は痛みに泣きわめきクソとしょんべんをまき散らしながら私に命乞いをした。実に醜かったよ、岡部倫太郎。しょうがないから最後に私自身の手で喉をかき切ってやった後、気が済むまでメット刺しにしたのよ。一体何回刺したか、それが15年後のお前が迎える最後だ。父さんを殺したお前を待って。
Oh my god. My nerves burst into flame, not just in my arm, but throughout my entire body. The pain forces the air out of my lungs in a blood-curdling scream. I can't shake off Nai's hands.
セルンはお前の作ったタイムリープマシンを一切手をつけずに保管したままだったんだ。私はそれに目をつけたの。15年後、ラウンダーになった私はお前を殺してからそれを使ってここまで戻ってきた。一度にたった48時間しか遡れない欠陥品だからずいぶん苦労したけど。
To travel 15 years in 48-hour increments would take...
単純計算で2738回だ。他にもいろいろあったせいで実際の回数はきっと倍以上だけどな。自分が何回タイムリープしたかなんてとっくに忘れたよ。
I knew it. When I came to this world line, I went back to the lab after learning of Moeka's suicide. And once I got there, I found evidence someone had used the time leap machine. So that would be Nai's final time leap.
私はこの復讐のためだけに生きてきた。誰にも邪魔はさせない。絶対に桐生萌香も殺してやる。この手でだ。自殺なんてさせるもんか。そんな生ぬるい死に方で逃がしたりはしない。
たったそれだけのために15年もの歳月を遡ってきたのかよ。
She's insane.
たったそれだけだと。お前たちにとってはたったそれだけかもしれないが、私にとってはお前と桐生萌香を殺すことだけが全てなんだよ。
それで萌香を殺してその後はどうするつもりだ。
その後
遡ってきた15年をもう一度やり直すのか。
そんなものに何の価値がある。価値なんてないんだ。お前は今は何もしなくていい。ただ怯え 後悔し続けろ、岡部倫太郎。15年後に私が迎えに行く時まで。
That girl disconnected from causality, just like I am. And after time leaping thousands of times, she exacted that revenge. How will she live those 15 years that the second time around? Will she kill me again? The thought squeezes at my heart like a vice. Does time travel bring nothing but pain?
あんた、その傷どうしたの？大丈夫？
So, since they're not gonna give us the context, the screams were, rather than like her like slicing at him or whatever, because we didn't really see where she was slicing, in the visual novel, the original, it's described as her like initially slashing his arm, and his elbow pretty like bloodied, and then she sticks her fingers into that wound, to torture him even more, to the point where he can feel it like in his bones, and the pain was so excruciating. Oh boy, I honestly thought they were gonna show that. Not sure how I feel that they didn't.
携帯は
持ってきたけど。ねえ、説明してよ。その傷はどうしたの？救急車呼んだ方がいい？
落ち着け。今から D メールを送る。
あ、そうか。世界線が変わればこの傷もなくなるのかな。
Who cares about my wound? More importantly, by changing the world line, FB's, Tenoji's death, the damage to Nai's soul, and Moeka's imminent murder will all be undone.
俺は思うんだ。やっぱり店長は萌香を助けたかったんだよ。
Perhaps that's just wishful thinking. However,
ベータ世界線ではそうなるといいな。
they are the enemy. I should hate them for killing Mayuri. But in some sense, Tenoji, Moeka, and Nai are all just victims of my foolish experiments. I pray that they can live normal lives, at least on the Beta world line. For their sake as well as Mayuri's, I must send this email.
悪いな、ナエ。
Once this Gmail is sent, the world line will be undone.
お前の復讐は果たされない。
The world shatters, warps, and reforms. I head straight for Moeka's apartment.
岡部君、ここどうやって調べ？
少し時間を潰させてもらうぞ。
Moeka's right in front of me, but she sends me mail. feels like forever since we last conversed like this. Here, you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm gonna show you the image they had in the visual novel. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly just show that. See, where'd that image? That was quick. That was quick. I'm actually surprised they didn't go as gory as the visual novel did initially. I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. I was really excited to see what happened, but they did have the crazy eyes for like a good chunk of time. So I digress. Anyway. I feel like forever since we last conversed like this. I don't need the IBN 5100 anymore.
必要ないとは FB からストップが
So FB's still alive. For now, however, I'm more interested in what Moeka just said. FB canceled her mission to retrieve the IBN 5100?
任務達成はすなわち処分確定。扱いとしては犬っつうより家畜だな。
I recall his last words. Perhaps he cancelled his mission so that they wouldn't be eliminated. Is that the truth? Then maybe he really was trying to save Moeka.
ただ怯え後悔し続けろ岡部倫太郎
Let it be here.
15年後に
Oh, come on.
私が迎えに行く時まで
Shut up, Nai. Let me speak. So let it be known that, yes, it is confirmed, and we'll know this forever, that Okabe is guaranteed to die in 2025. Like, always guaranteed to die in 2025. In the Alpha World line. I can't get that childish, yet hate-filled voice out of my head. On that world line, I turned an innocent girl into a murderer. I won't fear you, Nai, nor will I repent. That world line has already been undone. But how will things turn out on this new world line? No, there's no point thinking about it. As the plan worked, the IBN 5100 should already be back in my possession. And if that's the case, then there should be no need to stay in this world line either. On the way back to the lab, I stopped by the Braun Tube workshop and peeked in through the window. The 42-inch CRT is powered on, and Tenoji, FB, is lounging in front of it, reading the sports pages. Sure. FB is still alive. His daughter Nai had no reason to hate anyone now. Alrighty. Later, Boral J. Well, this is kind of a big spoiler already. And yeah, I'm kind of iffy on the fact that, like, the blood and stuff had been pretty PG in this entire game. It is a bit off-putting, but then again, when you go to the visual novel and you look at some of the images of stuff, they get pretty gory. Like, a bit more blood than should happen. But I guess this is like an okay middle ground. Maybe. I mean, the anime wasn't that gory either. To the point where, now I can say this, they didn't include that scene. What they did in the anime was, Mr. Braun shoots, Moeka and then shoots himself. And then we send the D-mail. We had nothing show of Nai time leaping or her being crazy. And I'm still sad that I'm not gonna ever see that, animated, but, completely in the way that I was thinking of, but, I'll take what I can get. The more I think about it, the more I get disappointed. I need to stop that. Oh my god, so crazy. But yes, I'm just, like, kind of amazed of how, like, low-key this is, comparatively. But there was quite the amount of blood in, the actual visual novel images, because they put a bit more blood than humans could possibly lose in the span of seconds that happened of whatever wound they got. But it's, like, whatever. It's whatever, I guess. I mean, at least they didn't show us the gore for Mayuri's death. But then again, showing us the Jellyman shit is still pretty fucked. Typically, I don't mind gore at all. I just don't like it when a game is just focused on being gory, like fucking Corpse Party, every game that came after Corpse Party. That was garbage, and they just wanted to be gory and disgusting the whole time rather than scary. The whole time. Let's have the protagonist eat a meatball. Why not? Why is she doing that? No one really knows. She's just doing that because the plot tells her to. Because the developers fucking hate her or something. What the fuck? Anyway. I climbed the stairs to the lab. I was right. The long battle is finally over.
Super Haka! Super Haka, come on!
Come on!
橋田ならいないわよ。
Okay, Kurisu.
コミマに行くって言ってたじゃない。
In that case, he won't return until evening. I can't wait that long. So I fire up the time machine and leap. What? Okay, but that's extra. I can't wait that long, so I'm gonna fuck up my brain molecules.
Christina! これよりオペレーションベルダンディ最終フェーズを開始する。
We've been on this operation for an entire week.
Daru, IBN 5100だ。
だから
だからではない。IBN 5100があるのだよ。
See, what pisses me off about the fucking anime was that it completely changed the story, killed off 90% of the characters, and then killed the one character that I even slightly cared about, Satoshi, and now I don't even know why I cared about Satoshi. And I thought he was the main character the whole time because he was like that bumbling idiot character that always does an accident and then like falls into girls' boobs trope. I thought he was the protagonist. And he's not. Which was really weird to me that he wasn't, because like in one of the like bad endings, in one of the bad endings, he was like the only one who remembered what happened just now, and they're like, oh no, it's Groundhog Day. And that's what they do in Book of Shadows, where what fucking sequel literally branches off from the bad ending? Wait, no, scratch that. Wait. Let me rephrase that. No, wait, I can't. God, it technically counts. Anyway, Book of Shadows was garbage because it branches off of one of the bad endings and was a visual novel that wasn't really that scary, and I didn't even know what the fuck was going on half the time. And it just like lost that feel of the RPG Maker horror game that Corp Party was originally. Still had bop-ass music somehow, but that was a thing. And like the thing about Book of Shadows, which really pisses me off, is the fact that it branches off of the one where where everything repeats and Satoshi is the only one who remembers everything that happened, and was very iffy to let everything just happen again and do the stupid fucking paper child thing. And he was like trying to convince them not to, and that's it. And so like he knew, and he tried to stop it. And yet for some fucking reason, throughout the entirety of Book of Shadows, we don't even really follow him in that perspective. We don't see how he reacts to like everything repeating, or how his actions change from that. No, instead we fill plot holes of like other characters that I don't give a shit about, and some other random bullshit that I didn't understand, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? And they didn't even show the Book of Shadows in that. The only way you can actually see the Book of Shadows is if you had a save file of the original Court Party that the game would notice, that would give you an extra thing that actually showed you the Book of Shadows sequence that you'll see in the beginning of Blood Drive. And it was absolute garbage! Absolute garbage. Absolute. The first game I really did enjoy. It was pretty cool. I might have been genuinely scared at that time, too. Maybe. I don't really remember at this point. But, and that game just had bop-ass music. For some reason, the music is the consistently good thing about that entire thing. But yeah, that, like, really pissed me off that it's just, like, they branched it off like that, but they didn't even focus on the one character that remembered everything. Instead, we focused on another character who suddenly remembered everything later on because they were really curious about Satoshi, and she's the main protagonist, but I don't really know. I can't remember her fucking name. I really can't at this point. I think it was the class president character. I was just like, this is dumb. This is really stupid. This is absolute garbage plot. Book of Shadows is an absolute waste of time. You don't even need to go through it to get to Blood Drive. And even then, the question remains, why the fuck are you going to Blood Drive? It's garbage. But anyway, I thought Satoshi was the main character. Cause he was like so important, and he like slowly kinda manned up to protect his little sister, but then his little sister dies in the anime, and also the other guy dies in the actually everyone dies in the almost everyone dies in the anime. Even Satoshi dies in the anime at the very fucking last second, and I'm just like, what? Why? And why is his arms only there? That doesn't make sense. This is stupid. So the anime which is like the terrible thing that I hated watching, and also something that really pissed me off about the anime was like anytime something bad was gonna happen, they would tilt the camera, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? It was so annoying. I'm also just mad because that Moshirige, he was such a terrible person. He was a terrible character, like who slowly goes into descent of madness and just like does terrible things, and he doesn't even get like a painful death or anything. He's like the one person who didn't get a painful death, at least according to my memory, and it's just like, what? Everything in that anime was about gore. You literally had someone, you literally had the big guy, I can't remember his name, the guy who like chases you around the entire school working for Sachiko, like jab the blonde haired gangsta like type character through the guts, and you just see his guts like go through, and it's just like, what the fuck is this gore fest, and why did he die? He becomes important later. Sort of. Actually, the importance of characters are completely contrived and bullshit, and none of it actually matters. Blood Drive is absolute garbage. Let's have the main protagonist eat a fucking wall of meat just to make her suffer more. Why is she suffering more? How much do you hate this one character? And I fucking hate the rest of Corpse Party. I would have been just okay with Corpse Party 1 because it was a decent game, it was interesting, and it just felt right. Like, it was good, and then the anime fucked it up, and then Book of Shadows was a dumb, not actually a sequel. And then Blood Drive was just garbage. with a huge amount of glitches too. Like, that game was so badly developed, like, if you can call it developed. It was so much garbage. But yeah, that's like, when the anime exists for the sake of gore, then it doesn't need to exist. It doesn't. Like, if I want to see something gory and have a good plot, I'll watch Goblin Slayer because it's pretty gory. If I want to watch something I think they've abandoned ship. I think they're done with that. I think they said something about, like, after Blood Drive, they're just done with the entire series. And for good reason. Because it was absolute garbage. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut all of that out, because that was just an entire rant of me hating Corpse Party. This is fucking dumb!
そりゃあるっしょ。オカリンが持ってきたんじゃん。
そうだ、俺が持ってきた。柳林神社からな。
オカリン、今日はやけにテンション高くね？
ダル、一つ聞くが、IBN5100 の使い方について勉強はしたか？
は？まあ一応。コミマ前のクソ忙しい時期に僕って偉すぎじゃね？イギリスだったらナイトの称号もらえるレベル。
ならば今日からお前のことをさあスーパーハッカーと呼ぼう。
だが断る。
くだらない会話は自重しろ。頭が痛くなる。
If Daru knows how to use the IBN 5100, then we can hack CERN right now.
全ラボ面に告げる。
Myerd not here, but that's actually more convenient.
長き戦いにいよいよ決着をつける時が来た。すなわちラグナロックが開始されるのだ。本作戦の概要はすなわちセルン本部の最深部に隠された極秘データを IBN5100 によるクラッキングで破壊することである。エシュロンなる卑劣な電子機器により奴らは我らの極秘情報をかすめ取った。天津さえそれをもとに我らを特定し、我らが開発した人類の夢タイムマシンの強奪をも目論んだ。研究機関でありながらその裏で時空の支配者の座を望み非道なるゼリーマン実験を行う奴らに今こそ正義の鉄槌を下そうではないか。そして真の時空の支配者がどちらなのか奴らの目にしかと刻みつけてやれ。戦いが終わった時世界を陰で牛耳る支配構造はついに崩壊し再構成されるだろう。そう 我らが望んだコント。
まあうるさい。
I didn't mean to press A, but this kind of works out anyway.
一体何なの？
オカリンの心の闇は誰にもわからんでござる。
そもそも設定じゃ岡部は狂気のマッドサイエンティストじゃなかった？なのになんで正義の鉄槌とか言っちゃってるんだ？
ついカッとなってやったんじゃね？今は反省してるかも。
お前たちごちゃごちゃ言っていないで準備しろ。
準備って何ぞ？
だから今言っただろう。セルンへのクラッキングだ。
クラッキングは良くないと思う。
なんという優等生的発言。お前は委員長か。
捕まりたいの？
そういう問題ではない。俺はこのターニングポイントへ到達するためにこれまで戦ってきた。今こそアルファ世界線を離脱しマユリを救う。邪魔をするというなら誰だろうと許さん。絶対にだ。
岡部、
必死すぎ。
To them, only half an hour has passed since the time leap machine was built. But to me, many days have passed since that ordeal began. This.
頼む。俺の願いを聞いてくれ。
Or else my Yuri will die. And in 26 years, the world will be ruled by CERN. Suzuha's sacrifice will have been for nothing.
別にあんたのためにクラッキングするんじゃないんだからね。
これはひどい。
Sir Super Hacker, Tsundere version, is here to save the day. What the? Here he comes to save the day! I couldn't have asked for a better right-hand man.
つまり全ての元凶は俺が最初にダルに当てておく。それがセルンのエシュロンに捕らえられてしまったせいでラウンダーに目をつけられた。結果マユリは殺され、俺たち3人はセルンに拉致され、タイムリープマシンは強奪される。どれだけ回避しようとしてもダメだった。世界はアトラクタフィールド理論により同じ結末へと収束してしまう。
それもし全部妄想だったらオカリンはラノベ作家になれると思うお。
Light novel illustrates novel targeted primarily at teenage and young adult males. Cover artwork often depicts cute girls. Although light novel can deal with just about any subject matter, recent years have seen a trend towards stories about teenage boys meeting cute girls and winding up in extraordinary situations.
事実だ。すべてな。マユリの死を避けるためには。
And to free Suzuha's future from CERN.
アルファ世界線から脱出するしかない。これまでに歪ませた事象をすべて取り消すことで、それは可能になると俺は考えている。つまり目指すべきは俺がダルに最初の D メールを送る前のベータ世界線。 そこへ到達するためエシロンに捉えられた最初のメールデータをセルンのデータベースから削除しなくてはならないのだ。
If I delete all my mail data from CERN's computer now, I should be able to achieve that goal.
面白いわね。
マキセ氏は信じるん？
仮説としてはね。できれば客観的データが欲しいところだけど、それはさすがに無理だし。
安心しろ。お前が改良を施したタイムリープマシンの出来はガチだった。
当然でしょ。
She doesn't deny it. That's just like Kurisu.
それに IBN5100 でのハッキングはもともと予定してたことだし、とにかくアクセスしてみて、もしそこにメールデータが存在していたなら岡部の言葉は事実だと証明される。
要するに考えるな、感じるんだということですね。わかります。
いや、逆にわかんないけど。
考えるよりやってみろということだ。
つなぎ終わったお。ちょっと設定いじらないとダメだけど、10分しないうちに始められる。
よし。
それにしても元凶となった最初のメールね。それってあれでしょ？私が死んでたとかなんとか。
そうだ。ラジカンでお前が殺されているのを目撃した俺はダルにそれを伝えるメールを送った。ダルはたまたま電話レンジカッコ仮の実験中で放電現象が起きて。
Something is telling me to stop. Fear rises in my chest. A sudden, terrible certainty that I'm missing something vital. The very first email started it all. Return to the world line that existed before I sent the first email.
何よ。
I was right. I missed something vital. Something dire. The world line I set my sights on to save my Yuri. The world line upon which Suzuha staked her hope for the future. On that world line, Mayuri lives. On that world line, CERN fails. And on that world line, Makise Kurisu dies.